start. A detailed introduction of these panelists will be presented before the start of the panel discussion. First, I would like to the floor over to our president, so CFA, and the special ambassador for CFE, Dr. Lee Hwae-sung, who will be providing the open remark today. So please give him a round of applauding.
Thank you very much for this important event for the Carbon-Free Alliance, as well as for the Korean government. And I'd like to especially welcome the chair of the Presidential Commission on Carbon Neutrality and Green Growth of Korea, and also welcome Dr. Abdallah Maksib, the Executive Secretary of the IPCC. Thank you very much for your participation here. I also welcome our guests who made themselves available for this meeting. As for the climate change issues, our task is to achieve growth as well as the carbon neutrality. The Carbon-Free Alliance responds to these twin goals: achieving strong economic growth to end the stabilization of the climate problems. We advocate ambitious climate actions, but we are technology neutral. We welcome any energy sources or options as long as they contribute to reducing carbon footprint. And I want to emphasize we are looking at the carbon footprint, not just carbon emissions, a particular options. We are aiming to be a global coalition of energy providers and also industrial energy users for their joint effort toward carbon-free economy. We are particularly keen on helping developing countries because we recognize that the challenges Korea face are the challenges that our fellow developing countries face, especially when we look at the industrial sector. Those sectors have contributed to the growth of not only for Korea but also growth of their respective countries. If you look at all those developing countries now, much of their growth came from their strong, solid investment in those hardware-based sectors. Therefore, we have a common goal to achieve the neutrality in those sectors, which is steel, coal, petrochemical, and also very electricity-intensive semiconductor industries. We want to work with developing countries to achieve this goal. We are confident that unless developing countries on board in this effort to have a carbon neutral industrial sectors, world aspiration to achieve the 1.5 will never be obtained. But our attention is not limited to only developing countries. We welcome all stakeholders because attacking climate change requires effort by all stakeholders. So we are open. We try to be an open platform in welcoming every sector, every stakeholders, as long as they are welcoming the principles of this carbon neutrality, technology neutrality, and also this desire to reduce carbon footprint as much as possible. Again, we are ready to work with you, and I invite you to join this journey as well as to join this meeting together. Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you very much for your meaningful remark. Next, I'd like to introduce our two guests for today's remark. First, Mr. Kim Sang-hyuk, who is the co-chair of the 2050 Commission on the Carbon Neutrality and the Green Growth of Korea. Please applauding Mr. Kim.
Oh, what a gathering. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and friends and partners, thank you all for coming and joining this important session. I'd like to express my special gratitude to Dr. Lee Hwaesung, His Excellency, for taking the leadership, which should be really essential for the carbon-free energy initiative. As you all know, Dr. Lee Hwaesung, as the president of the IPCC, exercised great intellectual leadership and let the world know what is coming to us. And I also like to express my gratitude to Mr. Abdallah Moqsid, the Secretary of IPCC. And I also express my gratitude to Dr. Yang Yu-sok, Secretary General of Carbon Free Alliance, and Mr. Jo Young-jun, Executive Director of the Sustainable Development and Management Institution at the Korea Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I really welcome the business leaders from many countries. As you know, the President Yoon Suk-yeol of Korea delivered a remarkable speech at the UN General Assembly, proposing a new idea that is Carbon-Free Energy Alliance. And I had a chance to attend the UN High-Level Energy Transition Dialogue, and I could find the active response from United States and the UK. They are all welcoming the idea of carbon-free energy alliance, and especially Dr. Patty Birol, the head of the IEA, really loved the idea, because to achieve carbon neutrality, we need to put all the green options on the table. And I had another chance to have a dialogue with Chinese leaders and Japanese leaders. They are all welcome the idea. Especially China and Japan are, like Korea, are heavily industrialized country. They all need every option to realize carbon neutrality. But to secure this carbon-free alliance or coalition, we need to set global standard for that, with specific goals, with new values, and we need to make a new certification scheme, and including admission requirements. And the idea is, to my eyes, very simple: to decarbonize the power sector, electricity itself, and to support, to decarbonize the industrial process. If we could support the two sides of decarbonization on energy and industry, then we could go closer to the goal of carbon neutrality. Technology neutrality and pragmatism would be the spirit to achieve carbon-free alliance, energy alliance. And I like to quote what Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of the UK, said: to secure the future of the United Kingdom in terms of energy policy, that is variety, only variety. And to achieve net zero economy, what we need is carbon neutral variety and variety. Please join us. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. Next, I'd like to turn the mic over to Dr. Abdullah Maksic, Executive Secretary of the IPCC. Please, so welcome.
Thank you very much, dear moderator. I'm really proud to be here for two reasons. The first one, to be here, welcomed and hosted by Korea. Second, I'm honored because my chair, my boss, invited me after working together. And this is have significance for me because he liked what I was doing with him. So thank you very much. You honored me, dear Professor Hussein. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here today. Thank you for extending this invitation, giving me the opportunity to share insights from 6 assessment reports, particularly focusing on the energy sector. All this, I think, Professor Hussein Lee knows better than me. So the report underlines a stark reality. Our planet had heated up to 1.1 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era. A significant portion of this increase, more than 1 degree, is a direct result for human activities spanning over a century, including the burning of fossil fuel, unsustainable deforestation, and resource consumption. The level of warming translates into many changes across the climate system, which are unprecedented over many centuries and thousands of years. Recent changes are widespread, rapid, and intensifying in the oceans, on land, and from the poles of the tropics. They are affecting every inhabited region across the globe. The sobering threat is that greenhouse gas emissions have hit record high in human history. Assessing existing policies until December 2020, the IPCC highlighted our alarming trajectory. We're not on course to keep warming at 1.5 degrees C. Without strengthening mitigation measures, we're on track for 3 degrees C rise in global temperature by the end of the century, aligning with the recent finding for UNEP's emission gap report. To limit warming to 1.5 degree, we need immediate substantial reduction in emissions across all sectors. It necessitates a peak in global greenhouse gas emission, significant cuts by 2030, and achieving net zero by 2050. Achieving climate neutrality by 2050 requires effective national energy policies in line with the latest. It requires very significant reduction in most fossil fuel, coal, oil, and gas, and getting almost all of our electricity from no or low carbon sources. We've seen an increased evidence in climate action. Existing policies have yielded sustained emission reduction in several countries, shifting the global trajectory positively. Remarkably, over 50% of global emissions are under climate legislations, and more than 20% are subject to some form of carbon pricing. Additionally, the cost reductions in renewable energy and related technology since 2010, 85% for solar, 55% for wind, and 85% for batteries, underscore viable option for emission reduction. In different sectors, choices exist today that could slash global greenhouse emission in 2030 by half compared to 2019 level at remarkably feasible cost, some even self-funding. The largest potential lie within energy and agriculture, forestry, and land use. Renewable energy, particularly wind and solar, offers the most significant potential within the energy sector, given their remarkable cost decline in recent years. In the short term, opportunities abound in demand sectors like buildings, transport, and industry. We have a rapidly closing window of opportunity to reach climate goals through ambitious reduction in greenhouse emission. More ambitious and determined climate action now will reduce the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and avoid the need for very rapid reduction in emission later. Delaying action will make future emission reduction far more challenging, costly, and disruptive. The next few years are critical if you want to limit warming to 1.5 degrees C. I thank you, and I hope that my chair, my boss, is happy with my statement.
Yeah, sure. Just take a picture one time. Okay. Thank you very much, all of you, for your insightful speech. From now on, we're gonna go over the next stage. Before start the panel discussion, we will take one photo. Please take a position in front of the podium. All of us previous VIP here, come over here. Yeah.